Well, 25 is not nearly enough.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason, Joe, and Crams are here, kicking off a new series, counting down each of our 25 favorite singers of all time. This will be our new Friday series. We're going to give you one entry on our list at a time. So we'll be highlighting 3 different singers per episode. Today, we're starting at the bottom of the list, number 25. We'll each be giving you our number 25s. Who wants to go first?
I'll kick things off. Well, 25 is not nearly enough it sucks. Especially when you consider all the groups that have like 3 vocalists that you all want in this. It's terrible. This is the worst thing we've ever done. With that being said, I'm kicking things off with a singer that last year I wouldn't even have known who this was. Probably you could have said her name, and I would have been who? Cooking? Is she on the cooking channel? No, Elizabeth Fraser from, of course, the Cocteau Twins. She's my 25th favorite singer of all time, and I just wish someone had just forced me to listen to her earlier, because anyone who knows my taste in the past couple of years would have just been, you're gonna love her. Just listen to her. Instead, I was trying to be too cool and not listen to the Cocteau Twins and whatever. Water under the bridge, because Elizabeth Fraser is just incredible. Her voice, just the way it transformed. She started out almost in a post-punk, a little Susie Sue, a little bit of like goatee throat kind of stuff that I don't love. But going through their discography, just the way she grew into this incredible singer, by the time things got to Heaven or Las Vegas, and she started adding some inflection, a little R&B in there. She had some Kate Bush in her, just the way, she swoops and her exaggerated runs and shrieks, and the way she uses her vocals for more than just words. She does a lot of, sound effects, and the way she repeats words, and she'll make a run on a song like IKEA Guinea, where she just does this incredible run up and down her range with these repeated words at the end of each line, and it's just not like anything you've ever heard. I think she's completely unique. She's affectionately known as the voice of God, and I can hear it. I mean, everything she does seems to be pitch perfect, spot on. And something like Cherry Colored Funk on Heaven or Las Vegas, just the way she's like purring, her mid-range is incredible. And I don't know if you'd ever really expect that from her if you just heard the earlier post-punk stuff. Everything she does, her low, her mids, her highs, those falsetto, those heavenly little runs up into, the atmosphere. She can do it all, and she can do it all with basically just completely nonsense lyrics. It's like the definition of, wanting to hear someone sing the phone book, because it does not matter what she sings. I can't understand 90% of the things she's saying, and it doesn't matter, because I just want to hear her sing a song like Politic from Heaven or Las Vegas again. She got like that little folksy Scottish accent still. The vibrato is incredible when she's singing at the ends of the lines, and the lyrics, see and saw bounce me back to you. Nobody knows what the hell that means, but just the way she holds and the vibrato on the U's is so mesmerizing. It's incredible. And no singer in history, at least for me, can take just completely tossed off lyrics and just make them sound like they're the most important heavenly thing, like straight from the Bible, straight from the mouth of God. She's just incredible. She makes me melt. So she's my number 25. And yeah, I'm very, very happy we did their discography, because it would probably be Phil Collins at 25 right now instead, if we hadn't done that.
Man, Jason, we didn't see that coming, did we? Especially like Joe said from last year. Hell no, dog. This is why we do it. We get Joe to see that things aren't quite as pretentious as he seems to think they are at first glance. All right, I guess I'm going next. Mine's going to shock you guys as well. I think Joe's is surprising that it made the list, but throughout the channel's episodes, we've talked a lot about Elizabeth Fraser, and Joe's mentioned her time to time again and likened other things that he likes. I don't think we've barely talked about my number 25. And eventually we're going to probably do guitarist lists and big lists for albums, and probably in 10 years when we retire, close off with our favorite artist lists. And I don't think this band is going to make my top 100 favorite artists ever. But this guy is probably my favorite metal singer of all time. And someone in there is going to be like, that's not metal. Klaus Meine is my number 25, the lead singer of the Scorpions, easily my favorite metal, pop metal, whatever you want to call it. His voice is so interesting to me. And when you've got like your Bret Michaels and your Sebastian Bachs and your Phil Collins, who's the dude from Def Leppard, Joe Elliott, and like all of these guys, I feel like Klaus has this bravado about him where he's like, I can do everything you guys can, but I'm just going to kind of walk tall and carry a big stick. Like, he doesn't have to show it off like how everyone else does. He's not a pretty boy. And he's got just like this sound, and a lot of it comes from the German accent too, which is just super cool. The accent helps everything. He has a ton of power in his voice. It's kind of low and thick and endearing, but there's like this high-pitched little bite at the end of it without ever getting really girly or shrieky, which I really like. I also think one of the things about him especially is his control and the way he serves the songs. He's not getting in there between, takes, always going like, come on, baby, and like, woo, and like, yeah, let's rock and roll. Like, he almost takes like a more melodic, classical approach. You can hear how good he is listening to the Worldwide Live album and the version of Rock You Like a Hurricane on there, where it sounds almost identical to the studio version. There's like all of this, like the perfect little strain in the way he does, like when he says another sin, he's like, another sin. It sounds just like the way he brings that emotion in the studio. Then 50 years after the band forms, and like they did this really good unplugged album in like 2012, 2013, where they do this really cool symphonic version of Rock You Like a Hurricane. They bring in a guest singer to do the first few lines, and then Klaus comes in, and you're just blown away. You're like, all right, who's this guy singing? You're like, oh God, thanks God there's Klaus. I never knew how friggin' good he was as a singer until you hear someone else sing Rock You Like a Hurricane a few stanzas before he gets into it. My skin, so what is wrong with another sin? The bitch is hungry. He's just like, I think his work on Love at First Sting and Blackout are just like some of the best, like more pop metal performances of all time. He can be gentle and sweet with like umph behind it with songs like Still Loving You and Wind of Change. And he also has this great ability to do these little bends at the end of his words without going it like over the top. He's got like just like a little whammy bar action in his vocal cords. It's really cool. I think his best work is in I'm Still Loving You. You really feel it. It feels like this gothic haunted romance of a song. The way he does like that whisper with like that half falsetto that's kind of muted when he's going like time and it's time. So awesome. And then he brings it up, and like those emotions and the levity and like the heaviness just comes in waves. Like, he's very fluid with the way he does his singing, which is kind of different for a more metal band. It's very pretty. It's like barely hard rock all the time. He just puts like this really nice glaze on it, but his natural sound is like full of this power. But it's just got like this cool sound and this just really unique emotionality to it, which I think Schenker is a tremendous guitar player. So I think the band is awesome. But I think without Klaus, they're pretty much just your average. They have a couple of hits, but I think they're really toward the top, and he's one of the big reasons why.
All right. Nice picks. I'm not totally shocked. I know you like the Scorpions a lot. My number 25, this was really tough. I had a list. My short list was like 100 singers. And getting it down to 25 is brutal. My number 25 is Willie Nelson. Maybe not a traditional pick as a singer. I think he's, a songwriter first and foremost. And, he's not a powerhouse vocalist like, a lot of people that you'll see on a list like this, but he has a lot of what I want in a singer. First of all, I think he's like 100% completely distinct and identifiable. You hear him sing one word and you know who's singing. Nobody else sounds remotely like him at all. His timing and his phrasing, second to none. He sings almost like a jazz singer in many ways. And he actually did this a pair of concerts with Wynton Marsalis that they turned into a record and a TV special, I think. But Wynton described him as being unpredictable in his phrasing, but also logical in terms of the harmony that he's using, just very advanced and sophisticated. I love his song first approach. He gets directly to the story or the emotion of the tune. It's never about him, never about showing off. It's just a very direct delivery. I think he's an amazing interpreter of songs. He does tons and tons and tons of covers. And it doesn't matter how big of a hit it is or like how well known of a song. He does like Unchained Melody.
I need your love. I need your love.
He does Songbird by Fleetwood Mac.
And the songbirds are singing like they know the score. And I love you.
And it's never like, maybe you should leave these like hugely like highly acclaimed songs alone. In every instance, I can't think of one time where he covered a song and didn't just like completely inhabit it and make it his own. I think he's great at covering songs. He's a great songwriter. He made his first record in 1956 and has not slowed up at all. He's put out a record almost every single year since then. Some years more than one record. Just a humongous discography. Most of it is really good. His voice is starting to show some age, but I think he still sounds good. His record from last year was solid. But yeah, just a tremendous singer. If you listen to Whiskey River from Shotgun Willie, you can hear just how good his pitch is and how good his tone is. There's like sections of that. The instrumentation is very sparse. So there's segments of lines where he's like singing almost a cappella. And when the backing vocals come in with him, you can just hear how perfect his pitch is.
Whiskey River, take my mind. Don't let her memory torture me.
It doesn't matter if it's sparse or if he's got a big rock band with him. His cover of $1,000 Wedding from the Songbird record is fantastic, and he's got this big rockin' band behind him.
Reverend Dr. William Grace was talking to the crowd.
A Song for You, the Leon Russell song, he covers that amazingly well. His vocal performance on that is incredible.
And when my life is over, remember when we were together.
So yeah, I just love his voice, super distinct. And yeah, just his phrasing and the way he times things, just impeccable. No one else like him. So unique. His voice, his tone, his delivery, all of it. Unmistakable.
Yeah, I know I've said it before, but saw him over the summer and completely blew me away. It was really wholesome, really touching. And he's got stamina. Good Lord.
Yeah, he's 89. All right. So let us know what you think of our picks. We'll be back next week with our number 24s. Drop some of your favorite singers down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.